Secretary will call the roll.
Onnested, Alquist, Ashburn, Calderon, Cedillo, Cogdill, Corbett, Correa, Cox, Denham, DeSaulnier, Ducheney, Dutton, Flores, Hancock, Harmon, Hollingsworth, Huff, Kehoe, Leno, Liu, Lowenthal, Maldonado, Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Padilla, Pavley, Price, Romero, Runner, Smidian, Steinberg, Strickland, Walters, Wiggins, Wolk, Wright, Weiland, Yee. Mr. President, we are absent of quorum.
The absence of a quorum having been duly noted, the Sergeant-at-Arms will lock the doors and call the absent members. Once again, we ask that the Sergeant-at-Arms request that absent members come to the Senate chambers immediately so that Senate session may commence. Members of the Senate, a quorum is present. Would the members and our guests beyond the rail and in the gallery please rise? We will be led in prayer this morning by our chaplain, Rabbi Mona Alfi, after which please remain standing. We will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag by Senator Alan Lowenthal. Rabbi?
Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor.
The American historian Carl Becker once wrote on the topic of faith and the frontier. His words apply to the state of California still. He wrote that idealism must always prevail on the frontier, for the frontier, whether geographical or intellectual, offers little hope to those who see things as they are. To venture into the wilderness, he says, one must see it, not as it is, but as it will be. Even 160 years after we have achieved statehood, Californians still see ourselves as on the frontier, or in modern terms, the cutting edge. We are still a land that is yet to realize the fullness of its potential, and we are blessed to have so many Californians who still see our state not as it is, but what it can yet be. May it be the will of our Creator to imbue our hearts with the power to see beyond what is, and grant us the ability to find a way to create what might be. May this be God's will. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Privileges of the floor, members. Motions, resolutions, and notices. Senator Hollingsworth. All right. Introductions and first reading of bills. Bills are deemed read. Consideration of the daily file. We have the governor's appointments. Senator Steinberg, do you wish to take up governor's appointments at this time? Governor's appointments.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to take up file item 1.
File item 1.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. This is the confirmation for the governor's nomination of Sharon G. Ongst as the Correctional Health Care Services Administrator. We had a lengthy hearing with Ms. Ongst, and just so the members know, her job is not to cover, to deal with general medical care, because that's now in the hands of the receiver. Dental and mental health she is responsible for, and of course there's also some significant litigation in the mental health area. But after reviewing her record and a long public hearing, we believe that, I believe that she comes to this position with good credentials from similar work in other states, and appears to be on the road to instituting cost savings measures in her areas of correctional health where we badly need them. We pushed her hard on pushing those who she works with in the administration specifically to settle these cases that are costing the state of California millions of dollars and money that we can no longer afford. So we would ask for an aye vote on the nomination of Sharon G. Ongst.
Debate or discussion? Senator Dutton.
Yeah, Mr. President and members, at this time I cannot support the confirmation of Ms. Ongst, and specifically it's because I'm concerned about Ms. Ongst's decision to reject a court-mandated supported staffing model, replacing it with her own and potentially more expensive staffing model. We all know that our cost of our prison system is totally out of control, and so I felt it deserved more scrutiny, and we have been looking into the exact reasons why there was this change. The previous model that she switched from was actually already in agreement with the plaintiff's attorneys as well as the special master with the courts, and so it really kind of confused me as to why you would just abandon that program and then start from scratch. Her actions, though, are actually part of my further frustration within the Corrections Department itself. The problem, members, is that we seem to have a revolving door within a lot of these agencies, and this is just one example of that. We've had roughly, I believe, 3 directors in this particular slot in the last 4 years. And for some reason, we just need to stop that. We can't have accountability at the top if they're not there, and how can you expect accountability at the lower level if you don't have it at your top of the ladder? Ms. Hunt's appointment was, like I said, to replace somebody that was appeared to be in the position long enough to spike their retirement, and therefore they're doing a disservice to the taxpayers of California. I'm not sure how to fix this yet. I'm certainly going to be open to suggestions. Right or wrong, though, I think we need to, something needs to be stopped. And so I'm going to be voting no on this appointment, and but you all can kind of make your own decision. But I just wanted to explain the reason for my no vote.
Further debate or discussion? Yes. Senator Steinberg, you may close.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I want to respond to Senator Dutton's comments because I, too, share the frustration that he expressed with the out-of-control health care costs at the Department of Corrections. And I would just say as a preview, I say a couple of things. Number one, I don't think Ms. Ongst is the problem. She's a mid-level person who I think is doing a good job. But a little preview for next week, if we want to really send a statement, but more than send a statement, actually begin saving money, I say we adopt the governor's proposal to cut $800 million from the corrections healthcare budget next week. That'll, I think that'll force a different kind of a discussion. I'd urge an aye vote on this nomination.
Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested? Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Calderon? Aye. Cedillo? Cogdill? Corbett? Correa? Cox? Aye. Denham? DeSaulnier? Aye. Duchesne? No. Dutton? No. Flores? Hancock? Aye. Harmon? Hollingsworth? No. Huff? Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Lowenthal? Aye. Maldonado? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Oropesa? Padilla? Pavley? Aye. Price? Aye. Romero? Aye. Runner? Smidian? Aye. Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? Walters? Wiggins? Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Wyland? No. Yee? Yee, aye. Onnested, no.
Call the absent members.
Ashburn? Cedillo? Cogdill? No. Corbett? Correa? Denham? Flores? Harmon? No. Huff? No. Liu? Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Padilla? Aye. Runner? Strickland? Walters? Wiggins? Mr. President, ayes 19.
Ayes 19, noes 8. Senator Steinberg moves a call. Members, Senator Lowenthal requests permission for a photographer on the floor. Without objection, so ordered, and it might be appropriate at this time as well. Members? If we could have order in the House, please. Just as a matter of introduction, would like to note that Senator Lowenthal has visitors today, not only his wife, Dr. Debbie Malumed, who's the president of the California Community College Board of Governors, but visiting family as well from New York, Albert Malumed and Jackie Morris. We welcome you to the chambers. as well as our friend and former colleague, former State Assembly member John Laird, who's at the rear of the chambers. All right. Senator Steinberg, under Governor's appointments?
Yes, thank you. This is file item 4. Want to, if I may, Mr. President, divide the question and only take up Mark A. Luker today and hold over the other 2 appointments under file item 4.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Luker was heard yesterday in the Rules Committee, approved on a 5-0 vote. His 365th day is February 9th, so his confirmation here is timely. This gentleman is from Temecula. He is a tribal councilman for the Pechanga tribal government and a former high school chemistry teacher in Paris. I'd ask for an aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll. This is file item 4, members, divided to take up a single confirmation.
Onnested, aye. Alquist, aye. Ashburn, Calderon, aye. Cedillo, Cogdill, aye. Corbett, Correa, Cox, aye. Denham, DeSaulnier, aye. Duchesne, Dutton, aye. Flores, Hancock, aye. Harmon, aye. Hollingsworth, aye. Huff, aye. Kehoe, Leno, aye. Liu, aye. Lowenthal, Maldonado, aye. Negrete McLeod, aye. Oropesa, Padilla, aye. Pavley, aye. Price, aye. Romero, aye. Runner, aye. Semidian, aye. Steinberg, aye. Strickland, aye. Walters, aye. Wiggins, Wolk, aye. Wright, aye. Wyland, aye. Yee. Yee, aye. Okay.
Call the absent members.
Ashburn, Cedillo, aye. Corbett, Correa, Denham, Duchesne, aye. Flores, Kehoe, aye. Lowenthal, aye. Oropesa, Wiggins. Mr. President, ayes 32, noes 0.
Ayes 32, noes 0. The confirmation is approved. Members, we are moving next to file item 36 under Senate third reading. Assembly third reading. ACR number 96. Senator Yee, are you prepared to present?
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Secretary, please read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 96 by Assemblymember Hayashi relative to Korean American Day.
Thank you very much, Mr. President and members. I rise to present ACR 96 by Assemblymember Hayashi, which proclaims that January 13, 2010 as the Korean American Day and recognizes the historic and continued contributions of Korean Americans in the state of California. It's of note that just over 1,000 Korean immigrants made the first trip here to America, and out of that have grown a tremendous community throughout California. Its vibrancy is noted throughout, and with that, urge an aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested, Alquist, aye. Ashburn, Calderon, aye. Cedillo, aye. Cogdill, aye. Corbett, Correa, Cox, aye. Denham, DeSaulnier, aye. Duchesne, Dutton, Flores, Hancock, aye. Harmon, aye. Hollingsworth, aye. Huff, aye. Kehoe, aye. Leno, aye. Liu, aye. Lowenthal, Maldonado, aye. Negrete McLeod, aye. Oropesa, Padilla, aye. Pavley, I. Price, I. Romero, I. Runner, I. Semidian, I. Steinberg, I. Strickland, I. Walters, I. Wiggins, Wolk, I. Wright, I. Wyland, I. Yee. Yee, I. Lowenthal, I. Onnested, I.
Call the absent members.
Ashburn, Corbett, Correa, Denham, Ducheney, Dutton, I. Flores, Ducheney, I. Oropesa, Wiggins. Mr. President, ayes 32, no 0.
Ayes 32, no 0. The resolution is adopted. Members, at this time, we're going to lift the call on file item 1. Secretary, call the absent members.
Ashburn, Cedillo, Cedillo, I. Corbett, Correa, Denham, Flores, Liu, I. Oropesa, Runner, Strickland, Walters, Wiggins. Mr. President.
Ayes 21, noes 8. The appointment is confirmed. Members, we are now going to recess the regular session and convene the 8th extraordinary session. The prayer and the pledge will be deemed complete. And at this time, I'd like to recognize Senator Ducheney.
Thank you very much, Mr. President and members. I request permission to take up file items 1 through 20. They are all budget bills that we would send to the Assembly to be prepared for any solutions that we come up with in the next couple of weeks in the February special session. These are basically blank trailer bills. Understand the concern about that, but by putting them in place in the Assembly, and they will do, I understand, something similar today to have vehicles available in this House as well, we will be in a position to put any of our proposed budget solutions in the next 2 weeks into place and in effect more rapidly. Ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Ducheney. Senator Ducheney, it's my understanding that you've requested that we read the bills a third time and apply the first roll call to the remaining bills. Is that correct?
That would be fine, except I'm not sure the first roll call.
All right, that is the request. We'll see now if there's any objection. Senator Hollingsworth, for what purpose, sir?
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, we would be happy to support these measures on the basis that that we're making progress towards fixing the structural deficit that's currently exposed itself in the middle of our budget year. The problem with us supporting these measures at this moment in time is that despite the many hearings and the many, many hours that our members of the Budget Committee have been putting in, there has yet to be a vote, there has yet to be a measure moved through that committee. We want to work with you. We want to make sure we address this problem responsibly. We are starting to begin negotiations, but those are just starting. We have yet to see your actual proposals, nor not having seen those, nor have we had much input at all on the member level, the staff level, or anything. That all being said, we're not going to help move these along when we don't know what you're doing yet. We want to begin those conversations. We want to make sure we get this done quickly, but we're going to be laying off or voting no on these measures. Thank you.
Thank you. Duly noted, Senator Hollingsworth. Just on a process question, Senator Hollingsworth, any objection to reading the first bill and then substituting the roll call? Then without objection, that will be the order. Let me ask the Secretary then to read item 1, Senate Bill 1. Remember, we are in the 8th extraordinary session, members.
Senate Bill 1 by the Committee on Budget and Fiscal Review and Act relating to the Budget Act of 2009.
Senator Ducheney.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Members, as we indicated, these will be vehicles available for those solutions that Senator Hollingsworth indicated. We have now completed our public hearing on all of the governor's special session proposals. It is the time for the Budget Committee to start to sort through those and take votes. We hope next week, early. And because of the time constraints of the 45-day session, unless we do it this way, we really will be constrained in our ability to put those into effect as quickly as possible. Ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion, members? Any additional debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested, Alquist, aye. Ashburn, Calderon, aye. Cedillo, aye. Cogdill, Corbett, Correa, Cox, Denham, DeSaulnier, aye. Duchesne, aye. Dutton, Flores, Hancock, aye. Harmon, Hollingsworth, Huff, Kehoe, aye. Leno, aye. Liu, aye. Lowenthal, aye. Maldonado, Negrete McLeod, aye. Oropesa, Padilla, aye. Pavley, aye. Price, aye. Romero, aye. Runner, Smidian,
Aye.
aye. Steinberg, aye. Strickland, Walters, Wiggins, Wolk, aye. Wright, aye. Wyland, Yee, aye.
Call the absent members.
Onnested, Ashburn, Cogdill, Corbett, Correa, Cox, Denham, Dutton, Flores, Harmon, Hollingsworth, Huff, Maldonado, Oropesa, Runner, Strickland, Walters, Wiggins, Wyland. Onnested, Ashburn, Cogdill, Corbett, Correa, Cox, Denham, Dutton, Flores, Harmon, Hollingsworth, Huff, Maldonado, Oropesa, Runner, Strickland, Walters, Wiggins, aye. Wyland. Mr. President, ayes 21, noes.
Ayes 21, noes 0. The bill is passed. Members, without objection, ayes 21, noes 0. We will substitute the roll call for file items 2 through 20 in the 8th extraordinary session. There being no objection, so ordered. File items 2 through 20 passed. Roll call vote 21-0. Members, we will now recess the 8th extraordinary session and reconvene in the regular session. I believe we do have some additional business in the regular session. Senator Hollingsworth, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, I rise for the purpose of I rise for the purpose of recognizing an excellent staff member who's moving on to places more stable and greener pastures. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, when people do a good job for us, they often get noticed by people outside and people who have more money than us. But all seriousness, we have had the services and the dedication of a very excellent member of our staff that has been the caucus chief of staff since my beginning of my tenure as leader. And he's decided that he's going to take another position. And we have been served very well by his smarts, his dedication, the fact that he is constantly working and on the lookout for everything that could be needed by a Republican caucus, and he's going to be sorely missed. He's been a great asset to our caucus. He's been a great asset to the building, and by extension, because of his dedication, he's been a great asset to the people of California. Russell Lowry is going to be moving out of the building and into the private sector, which means many of you will continue to see him around in a very prominent place. And we just wanted to recognize him today for the many years of service that he's given to the people of California in the California legislature, both the Assembly, the Senate, and now after this position where he served us with such dedication, skill as the caucus chief of staff. I will hand the microphone over to Senator Dutton before I hand it over to Russell. So,
thank you, Senator Hollingsworth. Senator Dutton?
Yeah, thank you, Senator Hollingsworth. And members, I too want to express my appreciation to Russell. Russell was, when I first got elected to the legislature and the Assembly, I was being coached by JR, that was Jim Brulte's chief of staff, as to trying to help me find somebody that at least could direct me to the bathrooms of the Capitol. And I was introduced to Russell, and we sat down and talked and kind of decided that this was going to be a workable situation. And I've never regretted Russell joining with me and really helping me become a better legislator myself. He's a can-do kind of guy. As some of you've had the opportunity to work with him. My only regret is, and what I was really concerned about, because I loaned him to Dennis with the idea that he'd still be there when I get into the leader's office, and Dennis just burn him out, I guess. I don't know. But I do wish Russell the best of all. He is truly one of those individuals in this building that makes it worthwhile being here. His accomplishments and his dedication to California and the people of California will certainly be appreciated for years to come. And Russell, I just want to thank you for all that you've done for me, too. And thanks again, buddy.
Why don't we join around? Thank you. Congratulations and thank you for your service. Members, are there any other items of business on the floor? Senator Romero, for what purpose do you rise, Senator?
Under motions and resolutions.
Motions and resolutions.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, this is just to remind you that today is Wear Red, Go Red for Women Day to celebrate American Heart Health Month. I want to remind you that starting now in room 125, we are doing heart health screenings. Everybody is welcome to attend. If you're not wearing your little badge, your little pin, please let us know. And I want to call to your attention that even Macy's is offering a 20% discount if you wear red between now and Sunday. So go shopping for good cause and stimulate the California economy while you're at it. But it is a serious issue. Heart disease is the leading cause of death, not only for women, but for men. So thank you for having passed the resolution SCR 64, and all of this month we will be using it as an occasion to bring greater education for combating cardiovascular disease. Thank you.
Senator Cogdill, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
For purpose of announcement, I wanted to announce that there will be a meeting of the Select Committee on Surplus Property, 15 minutes upon adjournment in room 3191.
Thank you, Senator Cogdill. Senator Romero, for what purpose do you rise, ma'am?
Oh, one other little issue as well. If we could get everybody wearing red after session at the dais so we can take a photo.
All right.
Thank you.
Anything else under motions and resolutions, members? Senator Steinberg, if there's no other business.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have one adjourn in memory, and then we will make the announcement for...
Senator Steinberg, let me ask the chamber to come to order. Members, we have an adjourn in memory. Could we ask the chambers to come to order, please?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I want to adjourn in the memory of Laverne Wetch of Santa Rosa, who passed away on the 30th of January. Mrs. Wetch, survived by her husband of 53 years, Phil Wetch, her 5 children, including Scott Wetch of Sacramento, who we all know and work with, former legislative staffer, 7 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. She was born Laverne Gleason in Bodega, California, and her family was one of the pioneer ranching families which settled in the Sonoma coast in the mid-1850s. A lifelong Sonoma County resident, Ms. Wetch was active in many civic organizations and worked for the county elections office for over a decade. With respect to her family, we adjourn in her memory.
Senator Steinberg, please convey the sympathy of the Senate to friends and family, and please be sure to bring the name forward to the desk so that it may properly be memorialized. Senator DeSaulnier, for what purpose do you rise?
Adjourn in memory, please, Mr. President.
Please
unfortunately, lost a constituent in Iraq. Last week, PFC Scott Garland Barnett passed away January 28th in Talil, Iraq, of injuries sustained while supporting combat operations. Scott was a 24-year-old and a graduate of Olympic High School in Concord. According to his family, he had only been in the Army for about a year, and this was his first tour in Iraq. He leaves behind his wife, Nicole, who he married in 2008. According to a press report, Nicole wore his dog tags every day. He wore a special one with her face engraved on it. We loved each other so insanely much, she said, we thought we were soulmates until the end of time. She's 22. Jonathan Atherton, a childhood friend who served 2 tours in Iraq as an Army infantryman, said about Scott that he was just the biggest-hearted person I've ever known. His memorial services will be this weekend.
Thank you, Senator DeSaulnier. Please convey the sympathy of the Senate to the friends and family, as well as thanks for service. Senator Steinberg, if there's no other business, I believe the desk is clear.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The schedule for next week's session will be Monday at 2 o'clock. Budget Committee is on the call of the chair. And I would just, again, give members the notice, as I think I did last week, that this coming week we may be in session any particular day of the week, including Friday. Because remember, it's a 3-day weekend. Monday's that holiday, and given the Proposition 58 deadline, Friday could be a check-in session, but it also could be a regular session depending upon how things proceed. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Senator Steinberg. That being the case, the Senate will be in recess until 3:30, at which time the adjournment motion will be made. We will reconvene Monday at 2 p.m., members. Stand in recess.